Hey guys, this is Odicon and I wanted to do a review of Criminal Girls Invitation for the Vita, as it is coming out in the West a few days from now, and I just happened to beat it today, and I'm actually at the extra dungeon right now, so I haven't finished everything in the game, but I saw a couple endings and I've put a good 45 hours into the game, so I feel like now is a good time to review it while it's still fresh. Criminal Girls is a top-down dungeon crawling RPG with some interesting mechanics thrown into the mix. First of all, the battle mechanics is very different from traditional turn-based RPGs in that you can't actually directly control your characters. They kind of have to suggest what they want to do. And so while it is turn-based, you only get one move per turn, as you can pick one of the suggestions out of the four. And within that one turn, you can also use one item and switch in one party member. So actually, as you can see in the beginning of the game, the battle system is extremely simple because the characters have only a very limited sets of moves that they can do. But this is one of those deceptively simple battle mechanics that's actually really interesting and fun to me because it limits you in a lot of ways. As you progress through the game and you get more and more moves, you kind of learn what kind of moves that they will suggest under certain circumstances. So if a boss is powering up a powerful attack, then you know to bring in, for example, Ran to do her defensive move. And more often than not, she'll get the clue and provide the right suggestion. And the random element adds a bit of interesting challenge as well, because you have to kind of try to set up the circumstances to get the moves that you want, but also have contingency plans if it doesn't go exactly the way you want. I have to say, in the beginning of the game, I kind of brushed off the battle system as just a simple, thing you just have to go through the motions of to really just go through the story and the other aspects of the game. But if you're patient, you'll find out that as you get more moves, you get chain moves and tough bosses, that the battle system is actually really fun and enjoyable to play. There's nothing quite as satisfactory as when your plan kind of fits all together. You have, for example, a chain move to continuously heal everyone, because there's a super powerful move that Sako suggests only when she's at full health. So as you're swapping in various members and using your items, it really is satisfying when your plan kind of comes together and you do a huge move with an attack boost. Or when a boss charges up for an attack that's going to wipe everyone out, and you swap in a member that has the ability to take damage that will kill her but reduce it to just 1 HP, then you can use the one item in your turn to revive Ran, and she can revive everyone else, and you bring yourself back from the brink of destruction. That's pure RPG goodness right there. Even in the very beginning of the game, where you can only basically fight, there's some strategy involved, because Arisu is a strong magic fighter, but you can't unlock most of her powerful spells until later on, so it's actually better to not punish her in the beginning so that she doesn't suggest her, weak attack. So regarding the battle system, it looks really simple. There's no weapons, there's no armor, and just a basic set of items. But I think it pays off to be patient, because it actually has a lot of interesting mechanics that open up that's not obvious at first sight. Now, in order to unlock new moves, you have to use the punishment system, which pretty much is like the signature of this game. It's basically marketing material to make it kind of stand out from the crowd. But really, it's just a series of simple touch mini games that aren't really, anything special. I'm using the Vita TV here, so it's kind of a pain with these cursors, but on the regular Vita you just use the touch mechanics and it's pretty easy. I have to say though, you can really see the PR department working in the localization of this game, because in the Japanese version it says punish right there, even in English, and they went out of their way to change it to motivate. And they have all these PC euphemisms, What is maintenance? What does that mean? Just call it spanking. Just call it what it is. And they said they had to censor it because the ESRB would rate it as AO, making it essentially unsellable at retail. Yes, the mini games are highly sexually suggestive, but there's no actual nudity. And come on guys, we have the internet now. Like, if you want to see the uncensored image, the non-nude, by the way, uncensored image, you can just look it up online. leaving the fog in isn't going to change anything. This game has highly suggestive sexual themes, so don't sell it to children. That's what rated M is for. In the meantime, you got Mortal Kombat X coming out, where people are slicing other people's face in half or disemboweling their enemies with the intestines falling out. And somehow this was deemed more appropriate than non-nude pictures and some, suggestive moaning. I think it's just another facet of our gun-loving, violent American society where we're more offended by boobs that we're used to feed babies, the one that you sucked on as a baby to grow, than we are by people just disemboweling and doing horrible violent acts to each other. Anyway, I'm not saying that this part of the game is great or anything special or that you're gonna miss out on much because it's censored. I just think that it's ridiculous that they had to censor it in the first place while Mortal Kombat is coming out a few months later with no problems. Anyways, to end my rant and get back to my review, I think Criminal Girls was a really fun game. The story was entertaining and, a little bit sweet. It wasn't overly harem-ish, it had a little bit of harem vibe, but that was it pretty much. And I thought the end game content was great, it was a nice surprise. I had reached the end game credits at around 30 hours, I think. But if you reload your cleared game save file, there's actually a lot more additional story and dungeons. So that was kind of unexpected surprise that I really enjoyed as well when I thought I was done with the game. So in conclusion, I would say that if you're looking for a cutesy, sweet RPG with an interesting, deceptively simple battle system, and the minigame stuff doesn't really bother you that much if you're not like a prude, or on the other end that you're not like horribly offended by this lame censorship that they put in there, I would say definitely give this game a shot. I'm actually interested to hear what the English voiceovers sound like as well. But you just look at the game and I'm sure you can probably guess what to expect. And like I said, it's silly to censor it because the type of people who are interested in this game obviously know what they're going into. We have Wikipedia now, right? Is Wikipedia still around? Is the internet still a thing, or is that like no longer a thing now? I'm just making sure. Anyways, I think that about wraps up my review, and this is Oricon, and I will see you next time.
この子の妹とかどうでもいいけど、私地獄行きとかマジ勘弁だから。あのミユとかいう女も信用できないし、さっさと先進もうよ。この先、誰か呼んでる。